Welcome to Insight Magazine here on I24 News. Well, they're on top of the football world. The players of Barcelona, or Barca for short, are the best paid and most celebrated sportsmen, practically rock stars as they traverse the capitals of the world in a hyper-publicized tour. Aware of their incredible reputation and influence on the young and old, they lend their names and their feet to humanitarian causes and now as pacifists between Israelis and Palestinians. Their visit to the Holy Land is perhaps one of the only things to bring children from both sides out to play. The team brings a message of peace to the football field, and it's the first time that such an official visit causes enthusiasm on both sides, Palestinian and Israeli. The purpose of the trip? Allowing the hundreds of thousands of children in the region to truly imagine life together. Barcelona brought their version of diplomacy to the Middle East to promote peace and coexistence among the youth of the region. We'll take a deeper look at Barca's peace tour visit to the Holy Land with exclusive images. Here's the gods of the football in Holy Land, a report by Henrique Cymerman.
There has probably never been so much excitement around a foreign delegation's visit from both sides of the border in Israel and in the Palestinian Authority. Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Bethlehem and Hebron were all painted in red and blue flags, belonging to one of the major football teams in the world, the Barcelona Football Club. It took almost 9 months of negotiations to make this visit to the Holy Land a reality. The organizers' objective was to host a match in Israel where the Barcelona team would play against a joint Israeli-Palestinian peace team. The ping-pong diplomacy that permitted the renewal of diplomatic relations between two giants, USA and China, in the 70s, would be replaced now by the Barca diplomacy. 1 month before the trip, we met Leo Messi in Barcelona. He explains his enthusiasm about the project.
Yes, I think that we, as well as the club, can contribute our grain of sand, small as it may be. We can do it and convey it, and I think we are doing it. We're doing it within the field, with the values we show we have, and the club as well, with its actions all around the world, for that, to aim at a better world. Small as it may be, I think that we do it, and that it can help.
It all started with the Gaza war of November 2012. Hamas was launching missiles on the south of Israel, reaching as far as Tel Aviv, while Israel was attacking Hamas targets in Gaza. Two war correspondents, well aware of Messi's popularity in the Middle East, decided to convince the Barca team to visit the region. The Barcelona club president, Sandro Rosell, immediately accepted, as he put it, to contribute to the education for peace of young Palestinians and Israelis.
I love that in Israel, and in any country I must add, most of its people support the club, support the Barca. For us it's fantastic. It's our pride.
Even though Israelis and Palestinians are neighbors, they are still in dispute. In the meantime, there is one surprising common denominator. The Catalan champion is practically considered to be the national team both for Israelis and Palestinians. In Barcelona, we met the players preparing for their tour to Israel and the Palestinian Authority. We spoke with Leo Messi and Xavi Hernandez, stars of this special team. With 300 million fans worldwide, 170,000 members, and an endless waiting list. Both players gave us their impressions.
It is a team that achieved virtually everything and continues to have the same dream as of its first day, wanting to win more trophies.
I would tell you, Henrique, that these are unique values, no? On top of that, Barcelona would be a uniting factor in this region, Palestine and Israel. We would like to contribute our grain of sand to this region, knowing about the difficulties here. We would like... Football is a feeling, a passion, and we want to pass on these values somehow. We want people to enjoy, to have a good time, and somehow, well, contribute to this unification, to this possible unification.
During 9 months of preparations and interaction between the highest of ranks of both governments, numerous problems emerged. At the time, the peace process was non-existent for over 3 years. Distinct voices opposing the endeavor emerged on the Palestinian side, declaring such a match would project normalization with Israel, a fact far from reality on the terrain. General Jibril Rajoub is the chairman of the Palestinian Football Federation and one of the influential men in Ramallah.
We are determined to end this occupation through non-violence struggle. Sport, one of the most important means to fight against this.
There was political resistance about the idea of a joint Israeli-Palestinian team, but Barca did never abandon the project to meet the youngsters of the region and contribute with a message of hope. Finally, following numerous crises, the Barcelona team landed in Tel Aviv. Among them, the team's vice president, Javier Faust.
Now we are extremely excited, extremely happy. Finally, after 8-9 months of working, finally our dream has come true. That whole team in full, from Leo Messi, Neymar, Xavi, Iniesta, we all, as we promised the Israelis, as we promised the Palestinians. We are very, very well loved in both countries, in Palestine and Israel, and therefore very, very happy to help in a modest way to bring this peace process together.
Emotions were high at the Ben Gurion airport. Security measures were only comparable to those taken for President Barack Obama's visit to Israel.
An amazing campaign, lots of partners, the police, the ushers. Everyone is happy to be of assistance and to entertain the team. Barcelona is a team that is valued all around the world, and we feel privileged to host the team in Israel.
The first day of the visit was dedicated to the territories controlled by the Palestinian Authority. The players crossed from one side of the separation wall to the other and were received grandiosely by thousands of fans who waited long hours in the sun in the streets of Bethlehem. First, they visit the Church of Nativity, which was the place of birth of Jesus Christ 2 millennia ago, according to Christian belief. The players, led by Leo Messi, listened to guided explanations, and the general enthusiasm triggered certain commotion around the Catalan stars. They were received by Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas at the seat of government in Bethlehem. Abbas thanked Barcelona for bringing a message for peace.
Next time, God willing, you'll come to play with us and our Israeli friends, and we'll celebrate the peace.
The festivities heightened at the town of Dura, next to the city of Hebron. 25,000 people received the Barca stars.
Messi, Neymar, Iniesta, Xavi,
The next day, the Catalan group continued touring Jerusalem. The players visit the Wailing Wall in the old city of Jerusalem, the holiest place for Judaism. At this place, it is customary for one to insert a note bearing a wish in between the rocks. One by one, the players fulfilled the tradition, including the one most pursued by the 500 journalists covering the visit, Leo Messi.
Whether he is Jewish or not, when he comes to this place, God will hear his prayer. This is a place of strength, the spiritual center of the Jewish people. A visit here is a declaration of appreciation of Jewish values and the deep connection that the nation of Israel has to Jerusalem and to this location.
Rabbi, did you know who is Messi?
I will not lie. I'm very bad at basketball and football. I was not familiar with his name. This is probably a weakness of mine. I still need to improve.
Israeli President Shimon Peres and the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu received the entire team at the president's residence.
Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, you and the whole team can teach us and the Palestinians to play tiki-taka, so we can score the goal of peace.
What we have to do is put Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta on the field in our negotiating team, and it's over. We have peace. No, it's more complicated than that.
Later, the Bloomfield Stadium in Tel Aviv filled with 15,000 children invited from all over the country, 500 of them Palestinians.
No ambassador in the world can have such a great influence as this player.
Youngsters from both sides of the border held a training session with the world-renowned football stars in a moment which would remain marked in their hearts.
It's great that we get along, and it's good that it's like this. Excellent that it works out well between us. No arguments, no problems. We are all able to be together.
And it's very exciting. We are amazed that it's happening, and we don't want them to leave.
President Perez was invited for the kick-off of the event, which Messi gallantly blocked.
It's the greatest gift that Barca and its president gave our young people. I can't think any other event which called up such a happiness and joyous for both the children and their parents. You know, children are at the age of innocence. They really understand what is peace and what is hostility, what is a fair play and what is an unfair play. And here they are real heroes. They really love them. You don't have to make any effort to call them up.
You know, Mr. Perez, yesterday we were at Hebron in the Palestinian territories, and it was the same. Children were screaming, Barca, Barca.
All children are the same. All children are the same. It's we, the old men, who make the troubles.
La experiencia, no tengo ninguna duda que ha sido un super éxito.
I don't have any doubts this experience has been a great success. And for all the Barcelona fans, it has been an unforgettable event. As we said before, Barcelona will always be close to any initiative that will help to bring peace, solidarity, to bring people together, and anything Barca can do to help in this matter, we'll do it.
The Barcelona team left to Bangkok and Kuala Lumpur, leaving behind a promise to continue and support peace, and to return at a near future to visit the Middle East. The Barca diplomacy, or better put, the diplomacy, promises to be back soon.
Welcome back to the studio here at Insight Magazine, and welcome Henrique Cymerman to our studio once again.
Hello.
It's good to have you. So tell us, I have to start, how did Barca get this idea to come to Israel and the Palestinian territories?
Well, I think it was 9 months ago, in November 2012. There was a war between Hamas in Gaza and Israel. As you know, there were missiles in Sderot, in the south of Israel, and Israeli operations in Gaza, military operations. So it was quite a dramatic time. And at that time, some journalists covering the war in Gaza and in Tel Aviv, they asked themselves, how can we help to try to bring a kind of, a new atmosphere to the area? And they went to the president of Barcelona, Sandra Rosell, to propose to him to come here because they understood there is a common denominator between Israelis and Palestinians, which is the love for Barca and for Messi. They speak about, they say not diplomacy, but diplomacy, which is really like a new concept.
Catchy, yes. Well, you're absolutely right about that. Sports, one of these things to break down the boundaries. And I think that seems to be one of the great results that comes out of such a visit, right? I mean, the children come out, it breaks down these boundaries, and they have a common ground. So you mentioned Leo Messi now. Tell us about him. I know you had some private time with him. What does he think about the region? What are the chances for peace? What's his attitude about things happening here?
Messi was quite surprised. Since the first moment, I was 2 days with him. I interviewed him a month ago in Barcelona before the visit to Israel, and I saw his enthusiasm. He was really, looking forward, being here. He wanted to speak with people. But at the same time, when he arrived here, he was quite shocked seeing the enthusiasm for him and for Barca. He was not expecting this reaction. And he heard personalities like Abu Mazen, the Palestinian leader, like Peres, the president of Israel, and like Netanyahu, the prime minister. And then he came to me and he said, and you're going to tell me the truth. is there a chance for peace in this area? I said, look, it depends on many things, not only on politicians, also on people like you that have a lot of influence and that can educate for peace. Educating for peace is really a key factor for the future.
So tell us, for real, I know he's the star of the team, but is he the ideological boss as well of this team? Is he sort of leading the charge in terms of the way that they're thinking, or?
Absolutely. I think he is. I think he decided who is going to be the coach. I heard that his physiotherapist is the one who decides if there is a training or not in a certain moment. Sometimes he even decides who is going to play with him, near him. So he's really the king. And he's still young. He's very strong, as you know, and he's becoming really, I think, the #1 player in the world, and he will be for a long time.
Well, thank you very much for being here in the studio, Henrique. Join us next week at the same time here on Insight Magazine.